We have a horror movie, folks. Let's see how many cliches we can hunt down in this. We open to our first cliche, the sheriff entering a farmhouse full of bloody corpses. Beautiful. Wow, that's a weird editing choice. Of course, the movie proper starts a day earlier when this sexy white trash lady and her beefcake boyfriend get ready to hit the booming porn market. That's not even a joke. That's literally the opening bit of the scene. These guys want to make it big in porn in the late 70s. So, our fiery Texans depart the scene and the full crew counts white trash, Southern Chad, breasts, Richard Pryor, Prudence Nightingale, and Cuck. They pause here to do some exposition, and we get the girl wants to be famous cliche. We also get an unsubtle little ass slap, which is the only saucy part of this movie that YouTube will let me show. Shame, you won't even got to see any of it, loser. And speaking of cliches, we get the busty bimbo slut annoying the nerdy, sex-starved wallflower. And yes, the only good thing about breasts is, well, her breasts. It's not like acting is particularly stellar. The cuck here is recording Richard Pryor in one of his many scenes that didn't end up in Superman 3, focusing on the same crotch that'll inevitably end up balls deep in his prudish girlfriend. Spoilers. Oh, and not only is this televangelist preacher another horror cliche, but it's also the key plot point in the movie. That's why you'll see his crusty ass everywhere. And speaking of crusty asses, I can all tell but how much action this lovely lady is getting. Wow, that's a weird editing choice, right, guys? Okay, now, here's a cool cliche shot, a dead cow on the road and one of the gang being sick from the sight of blood. Too bad YouTube is a Christian uploading website, so I can't show you all the good bits. With our intrepid heroes arriving at the farm, we get yet another cliche of the slutty bimbo not even waiting before she has to get fucked. In addition, we get Cuck here encouraging Prudence to relax and enjoy all the sex she's not getting. I wonder how that'll work out for him, huh? What do you think's gonna happen, huh? You know exactly what's gonna fucking happen, don't you? Let's see here. Old man owning a creepy abandoned farm has a shotgun that he immediately pulls out. Mistrust strangers. Folks, I think we may have a hat trick of cliches. Now, the old man gets them all in one spot, and as if it nails point to home that he'll be one of the murderers, he tells them all he doesn't like them. Oh, and we get a foreshadowing of his heart attack. Spoilers. Look at that. See these actors here? The Prudence and the Cuck? They get to see more fucking than you do. My YouTube audience, because you can broadcast god-awful political takes from both the right and the left, but heaven forbid if you show some simulated sex. I must say, this actress looks damn fine in overalls, but my perviness aside, she takes a dip out of the nearby lake, with the geriatric peeping Tom grandma hot on her trail. Oh, and this little ball fondle that Cuck did on the Southern Chad here, that is the extent of sexual activity he's gonna personally experience in this movie. The one thing that this movie did right is to capture for the first time ever in the history of a cinema, a jizz rag thrown onto someone else. Well, wow, that's a weird editing choice. Again, Jesus, what's up with this movie? Yeah, this was white trash's sting at going after big reptiles, but considering she has zero charisma that the original Steve Irwin had, she merely escaped the pond for her life. Because this movie's barely a third in, we know instantly that she won't die in the scene with the crocodile, making this yet another horror cliche. Counting along at home, are we? White trash notices the old woman making an obvious pass at her, but since she's too fucking stupid to figure shit out, she follows her anyway. She enters the home and realizes it looks only slightly better than a typical East European spread. In order to win her over, the old fart makes some lemonade for our intrepid heroine. The silence between them during the drinking is only there to drum up the tension and is yet another in the long line of cliches this movie utilizes. Naturally, the old woman has to drone on and on about her past, which we really don't have to listen to. It's another cliche that we can... Bad touch. Oh, wait, I did this joke already in the Parasite review. My bad. Anyway, fleeing the creepy old woman, white trash decides to become whiter by ingesting more coke. She then turns so white that she becomes a redneck milkmaid eager to use the nearest person of color to her advantage. The old woman, having touched white trash and then taken some of her youth essence, decides to dress up and go on the wildest day of her life. Golden Oldies fans will want to pay attention here. You perverted fucks are about to get your ticket prices worth. Also, I still respect you more than furries, so Yeah, fuck furries. Gee, why would they compare the old woman and the druggy young one? I wonder if there's a connection. The old woman is so thirsty for some dick that she asks her decrepit hubby for a chubby. He responds that his tricky ticker is on the fritz, so he can't exactly plow her like she's his field, and he's a 1910s farmer. Oh, that's a weird editing choice. With the success of the shoot established, our gang decides to have themselves a little redneck jamboree, with Prudence questioning them about the openness of their relationships, and since they're all degenerates, they keep forcing the idea that polyamory and nymphomania are A-okay. Of course, it takes the whole of one performance of Landslide to convince little Prudence of something, so she decides to join the degeneracy, with Cuck fighting his impulses for the first time in this movie. Clearly, it did not work. Having literally lost his woman to the British Broadcasting Corporation, our tertiary character, beta male, wallows in his cuck tears, but then decides to do the manliest thing he can think of, which is to run away. Are you fucking serious? Obviously, the old lady hasn't received her satisfaction. In her eyes, even a cuck will do. Bad touch, bad touch. Oh, it can't get any worse than the. No, I guess it did get worse. I mean, damn. Prudence somehow manages to stand up and walk, exiting the guest house, and eager to find the cuck to rub her newly stretched happy hole in his face. But in order to make it even more insulting, she brings Southern Chad along, and of course, he comes out in his underwear, clearly ready to fuck her brains out later. I really don't know where the Quagmire tryhard came from. Anyway, so the two split up. Southern Chad decides to enter the barn and prepare some hay to lay her in, while Prudence discusses the potential affair with the old man. Not realizing that the old man is an incel, she blindly follows his advice on taking a lamp from the basement for better lighting during the scene. Seeing her as a liability, the old man traps her in the basement, but I'm sure she'll be perfectly fine. Oh, I'm sure this is just a minor setback. The Southern Chad is still out there, and he'll clearly rescue her easily. Well, I mean, he's surely to survive this. It's not like he'll take up any additional humiliation. Okay, no, that's kind of funny. Of course, we had to skip one cliche with the black guy actually surviving the longest out of all the men in the movie, but him leaving the woman to go out on what is clearly a trap by the old man is another cliche that counteracts the first one, so we're one for one here. Anyway, Richard Pryor joins the senior gunman looking for the old lady, not realizing she's actually inside of the barn. Okay, so the two remaining men go after the old woman at the pond, and they bad touch, oh sweet Jesus, make it stop. With Richard Pryor on the prowl, he spots a sinking insurance fraud right next to the same animal that Steve Irwin once raised as his own flesh and blood, and decides to locate the old man in order to discuss doing the same. We love business, right? There's just businessmen. We're gonna have a talk. With the car, not the croc, he spots the flashlight, and as any quote-unquote marine, he foolishly goes after it, not realizing the old man is duping him. The old man is waiting for him by the pond, though, and while they discuss the potential of doing a crypto scam instead of insurance fraud, shout out to Logan Paul, the old man shoots Richard Pryor, liquefying his guts. Bad touch, oh lord, the touch is bad! When the white trash notices that geriatric hand sliding into her DMs, she screams the hell of the dead, waking up the breasts. Breasts instinctively goes to rescue her potential lesbian film co-star, but then the scene shifts in order to give us false hope that the bimbo might survive. And speaking of false hope and idiots not surviving, Prudence breaks the wrong fucking side of the door in order to flee, only to have the old man give her the Filipino handshake treatment. Yeah, two more cliches right there. See, people use different strokes of drugs, right? This old man clearly uses television and religion, while white trash uses cocaine and sex with 17 different people. Hey, to each their own, am I right? Shut up, don't laugh, you fucking jerk off. Of course, Breast has to confront the pale-faced golden oldie who, despite being 7 million years old, has the strength to not only stand naked in the cold weather near a huge body of water, but also to slap a bimbo. Push her into the lake, and spit out snide insults without as much as a whimper. On the other hand, the bimbo gets eaten out by a wild beast. I mean, fuck. Wish it was me, you know what I mean? A cliche, yes, but since I hate this character with a burning passion, I say let's let this one slide. Oh, and now we're gonna get the hiding from the murderers cliche. How fucking spectacular. Also, I'm cutting that bit out due to timing, but this entire scene has both characters expository dialogue in order to tie up all of the murder scenes together. It's the definition of amateur hour. In the rare actual horror moment of this movie, the two old fucks, they old fuck so hard that they almost crush white trash hiding under the bed. Wow, that's a weird editing choice. Okay, so let's see here. We've got one girl screaming while the other releases her from the basement. We have one girl screaming, "We have to stick together!" The other girl is retarded, so she runs away and gets shot in the face almost instantly. That's four cliches. I should have made that into a drinking game. Hey, who's down? Fucking comment down below, right? Now, this movie wouldn't be dramatic enough without at least one geriatric person dying. And it just so happens to be the man whose heart attack was foreshadowed in the very beginning. Remember, folks, sex didn't kill this man. A dead prude bitch did. In the climactic part of the movie, white trash threatens the old lady, but her gun seems to be about as impotent as the average male fan of this movie. The old lady uses this to her advantage and decides to kill her, but since she's rolled a 1 on her d20, she misses, and the ensuing shot causes her to fall on her ass, breaking her hip. Of course, our girl gets a few choice words of wisdom from the old lady and then decides to gracefully exit the farm using the old couple's truck. The tires were a bit rough around the grooves though, so she kindly uses the old lady's cranium to lubricate them before leaving. Wow, that's a weird editing choice. The plot twist! This irrelevant preacher is the father of this young lady. Ain't that something? Wait, this lady plays both of these roles? Are you serious? There's a prequel?